Hey, we did it. We are back to 500 on the season, back in the podcast studio with audio. I got a 12 pack of plays to crack open for the divisional round. Roll tape. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Uncle Dan's Best Bets here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Thank you so much. As always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The best part about this video is that we are in the studio with audio.
Oh yeah. Nice. We're gonna calm down later. I'm doing. Oh yeah. That's it.
I am really hoping you can hear me. I have tested it a few times. The last time I was here, it was 3:30 in the morning. Before we head to Miami, I recorded a big, long video, and there was no audio. So I hope you're hearing me loud and clear. The podcast studio is great. We love it. As always, again, like, comment, subscribe. We are closing in on 30,000 subscribers. Unbelievable. We were hoping to make it there by the end of the postseason. So if you have a second, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, as always. And as always, this whole season has been brought to you by Uncle Dan's Best Bets, by Incognito Menswear. They got great sweaters like this. It's not just suits. I did just pick up my green suit. It's not just suits, though. They have been a proud sponsor through this entire season. We appreciate them so much for what they have done for Uncle Dan's Best Bets. My gift to you is, again, as I try and sponsor you so we make some money. We are now 93 and 2 on the season. I understand. I know some people in the comments. I read them all. I got them up right here. Yeah, I'm still probably below units on the season. That's no secret there. We've lost some 2-unit plays. We've won a couple 3-unit plays, all of those things, but we are looking to get going. 5-3 last week.
Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Robbed of Josh Allen's over rushing attempts. We had 8.5. He had 8, and Mason Rudolph just ruined us at the end of that game. He needed to turn the ball over so we could get a knee. We didn't get it. We will move on. But again, 12 pack of plays for the divisional round. They're all right here, and let's get right to them. Appreciate the support as always. Let's make some money. Again, I said I would do Uncle Dan's Best Bets until the end of the Bills season. So I know some people have commented in, when will it end? As long as the Bills are playing, we will do picks. And I've got 12 of them. And it starts on Saturday. We go chronological order. I like the Texans plus the 9.5. I will take the candy for a few reasons. One, I just really like the way CJ Stroud is playing. And I know it's a dome team going outside. I'm not overly concerned about that. I'm more thinking about the Ravens haven't played in 3 weeks. That's a lot. And when you rest your starters and you have the bye, it's a lot. Teams haven't necessarily fared that well bouncing off that spot. And here's the stat for you. Teams playing number 1 seeds are 26, 14, and 1 against the spread. I think CJ Stroud's a dude. Look, he's got the 3rd best QBR over the last second half of the season. He's an Ohio State guy. I don't think the weather is going to have that big of a factor as compared to some other soft teams. Like we bet against Miami last week going into Kansas City. They've got guys from Ohio State, Michigan. Devin Singletary's the running back, played in Buffalo. Like, I don't think these elements are going to be too much for this team to handle. And if there's one knock on this Ravens team and this organization recently, it has been they haven't been able to win in the playoffs. They're one of the teams that rested their starter back in 2019, I think it was, and then they lost straight up to the Titans. So, look, I'm just not so sure that I'm all in on this love for the Baltimore Ravens. I will take the Texans in all of those points to keep this close. I think the offense is good enough. That's what I'll take. 2 props in this game, 1 on either side. I like Dalton Schultz. We've done it before. We will go to it again. Dalton Schultz over 35.5 receiving yards. And here's a couple reasons why. Baltimore allows 47 yards per game this season to tight end. So I think you're thinking, it's not that much higher than it is. But if I went back and I looked at weeks 11 through 17, I excluded week 18 because that was backups facing the Steelers. They're actually allowing 67 yards per game to tight ends. So they've gotten worse as the season's gone on at defending tight ends. So because of that, I like Dalton Schultz. He only had 1 catch last week, but it was a big 37-yard catch against the Cleveland Browns. I still think that if the Ravens do bring pressure on CJ Stroud and they have to throw the ball, I think Dalton Schultz, I don't think it's asking too much for him to catch for 40 yards. I've liked his receiving or receptions earlier in the season, but we will take the over 35.5 receiving yards for Dalton Schultz against a Baltimore team that I think is, as the season's gone on, has tailed off at defending the tight ends. On the other side, I like Zay Flowers over 50.5 receiving yards. Talked about it last week. The defense for the Texans, their secondary is questionable. I think that's part of the reason where I like this play. And also, this was set earlier this week, I think pretty low, like 46.5. They were expecting Mark Andrews to possibly play. As I record this on Friday evening, Mark Andrews has been declared out for the game. So in the last 6 games that Mark Andrews has been out and Zay Flowers has played, he's averaging 58 yards per game. Yeah, that's an over. So I'm going to take Zay Flowers over and Dalton Schultz over in that first game on Saturday. Moving right along, other plays. The Saturday night game, Packers 49ers. I like the over 50.5. I just won't do it. I will never respect Joe Barry and this Packers defense. Dallas was really bad. I think that's why their defense looked better than what it is. I still just don't think about that. I still trust Kyle Shanahan, extra time, all of those things. So I think there will be plenty of points scored in this game. I like the over for the game because I really like the Packers and the way their offense has been playing and clicking as of late. And I really hate the Packers defense. And we've been on some 49ers player props as the season has gone on. I don't see any way this game isn't played with the winner scoring 30 points. I think this game is each team's in over 25. Again, my next pick will explain a little bit more why as well. So I have the over for the game. I also have the Packers team total over 20.5 points. I'm actually betting this up. I'm taking an alternate line. The line that most books would have is 19.5. I'll take it at 20.5 to actually make it plus odds and plus money on this play for a few reasons. One, Jordan Love is red hot. This is a Packers team, especially offensively, with how young they are. I kind of have the same vibe about the Houston Texans. They may be too dumb to understand that they shouldn't be this good. That's kind of where I've seen this team. Oh, I just got really scared. I didn't think we were recording. We are. Moving on. And the Packers are averaging 28 points per game this season. I bet you didn't know that. I also bet you didn't know that the 49ers defense is ranked 28 in EPA. 28th. I think the 49ers defense is actually overrated. And I think the way the Packers offense is playing, I think the Packers scored 25, 26 points per game, 26 points in this game, no problem. Also, I think they may be from behind. We all know that obviously more throwing, more points. Like we said, we saw that Cowboys game incredibly over. I like the Packers over, and I like the game over in that one. Now moving on to Sunday, our picks 6, 7, and 8 all come courtesy of the Bucs and Lions game. First one, we will take an under. We were good a few weeks ago on an under when we bet the under Tyreek Hill. I will take under Rachaad White under 54.5 rushing yards. This isn't rocket science. Real quick to look at numbers. If you're ever wondering who has the best rushing defense in the National Football League, it's the Detroit Lions. If you're wondering who has the worst rushing offense in the National Football League, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Lions defense ranks number 1 in DVOA against the run, and Tampa Bay's offense ranks 32nd in the league in run success rate. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to bet this one. The Lions haven't allowed a player to have 70 rushing yards all season long. I also think the Lions will get up early in this game. The Lions secondary is their weakness. I think the Bucs and way Baker Mayfield is playing, I think they come out throwing. So I think Rachaad White doesn't get a ton of carries. I think they're behind, and all of those reasons why. One, they can't run the ball. Two, it won't be favorable to them because they'll be from behind. And the way to attack this Lions defense is through the air. So all of those reasons add up to me to a Rachaad White under 54.5 rushing yards. The two overs I will take Chris Godwin over 63.5 receiving yards. Same logic I'm applying. I think they're going to be behind. The Lions secondary ranks 25th in the National Football League. If you weight it, their DVOA, they're about 28th, I think I saw. And they allowed the third most receiving yards to wide receivers this season. So, again, a couple of these plays are no-brainers. Just look at some numbers. They add up. Don't think, just throw. I also like Sam Laporta over 42.5 receiving yards. Now, look, last week he gutted through the injury playing the Rams. I think he bounced back. He only had 13 receiving yards last week. But the plus side is Tampa Bay is the second worst team defending tight ends in the National Football League this season. They've allowed the second most yards to tight ends. They're allowing 63 yards per game to tight ends this season. I don't think it's any question Laporte has been one of the best tight ends. Able to play through that weird knee injury that he got in week 18. I think another week to recover. I think they get back on track with him. I just like Sam Laporta. We've bet him a couple times already this season. I'm not thinking too much. I don't think any of these plays, you don't need massive breaks or a ton of targets. I think these are very simple or easy targets to hit. So I like all those plays too as well in that game. And finally, it brings us to our last game, the Bills and Chiefs game. I like 3 Bills plays, 3 props. And then we'll get to the side for the game. I like Dalton Kincaid over 39.5 receiving yards. Look, I think what he's been able to do over these last few weeks is get more vertical. I think that's what we've seen, and we've started to take advantage of that middle of the field, down farther the middle of the field recently, which is what they were expecting and hoping to get out of him. He's cleared that in 3 straight games. I expect him to do it in a 4th, especially a safety blanket underneath. If Spagnuolo brings pressure, I think Kincaid can be that guy, catch, run, over 40 yards. I don't think is asking all that much. Same logic applies. I've been on it 2 out of the last 3 weeks. He's done it in 4 straight. Khalil Shakir, his receiving yards is 31.5. He's been really, really good actually after the catch and after contact. We saw his touchdown against the Steelers, things like that. He's also just becoming that safety blanket for Josh Allen. They always talk about it. Khalil Shakir has caught the last 16 passes thrown in his direction. He hasn't not caught a pass since the Dallas Cowboys game. That's unbelievable. Since week 16 passes has been thrown in Khalil Shakir's direction. He has caught all 16 of them. So again, if he sees 3 to 4 targets in this game, I think you're clearing this over easily. So 31.5 for him. Also, it was the right side last week. We'll do it again. Josh Allen over 8.5 rushing attempts. I had a weight earlier on this week. It was 9.5. It was like plus 125. Now today, as I bet it earlier, it went down to 8.5, and it's now minus 120. I still think that's the case. All of the reasons, go back and watch last week. All of the reasons I said, not only now are you should get kneel downs for this game. I think you're getting every single 3rd and 4th tush push because there's no Leonard Fournette. Josh has become the short yardage back for this team. So you're getting a lot of those rushes. And as well, the last 4 times Josh has played the Kansas City Chiefs, he has had double-digit rushing attempts. He just takes off against them. They play a lot of man. When you face a lot of man defenses, defenders turn their backs to the quarterback. We know how well Josh Allen can run in that spot. And finally, I will take the Bills minus 2.5. This isn't just a homer play. We've talked about this before. We talked about it in the podcast with Mike. I think the Bills have the better roster. I think they have the better coach, and I think they have the better quarterback playing right now. Overall, this is the Bills spot. It was at 2, and I think it was 2, went all the way up to 3. Now it's kind of setting at 2.5. I know a lot of the sharp money is on the Bills at 2.5. If it goes up to 3, I think a lot of people will take the Chiefs. But here's an interesting stat for you that I found. Josh Allen against good defensive teams, which that is what the Chiefs are. Really good defense. The Chiefs are only allowing about 17 points per game. When Josh Allen faces teams allowing less than 20 points per game, he's 26-1 against the spread. Josh Allen plays well against great defenses. That's what that stat tells you. So those are the 12-pack of plays. Let's crack them open. Let's win some picks. Again, Uncle Dan has never finished under 500 for the season. We have scratched and clawed our way back after a couple of tie weeks. We've come close on some games that we just haven't hit on. 12 plays. Be nice to win 9 or 10 of them. That's the way I look at it. Get over 500 for the season. A couple people just shout out. I got the comments in right here. Ballaholic, appreciate it as always. Eric I appreciate it. Matt C, Tom Dinder, Doc Strange, a lot of the people that always commented in. Marty Van Duzer, all you guys. Appreciate it as always. I always give these shout out to a good friend of mine, Basil Sarantis, Ian Gallagher, guys that commented. Matt Beauvais, WKBW, he also watches Uncle Dan's Best Bets. Appreciate it as always. It was sponsored. It was I was on VSiN before the Steelers game. They also plugged it. So again, appreciate it as always. Views are going up for this. Takes a good amount of time to research this. I don't just throw darts at a wall. Maybe I should at times, but appreciate as always. Hope to come back here, do another round next week for Uncle Dan's best bets for the conference championship weekend. But again, we will go as far as the Bills go. And I think they go and beat the Chiefs. Better team. This is a spot where it's a hungry dog runs faster. All the motivation in this spot. Bills have the better team, and they have them at home. Josh Allen, really good. Really good at home. The Bills have only lost 2 home playoff games in their history. One of them was last season to the Bengals. That being said, let's win some picks. Let's win some money. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate it as always. Closing in on 30,000 subscribers. The next step would be then 100,000. Appreciate it as always. Leave your comments in for your plays. Ballaholic, I know, always does. I'm always for taking picks and winning free money. So appreciate it as always. Thank you to Incognito. Thank you for watching. We will catch you next time. Have a great weekend here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel.